We'd like to start by introducing the lineup for the Highlanders from Baldwin High School. Number 18, Mike Duffy. Number 17, Nick Mongiak. Number 10, Bob Ryan. Number 13, Tom Witherspoon. Number 19, Brent Stanford. Number 22, Greg Hilliard. Number 5, Justin Joyce. Number 9, Neil Duran. Number 23, Michael Gleiser. Baldwin is coached. Assistant coach is Mr. Mike Kaleda. The head coach, Eric Falcione. Good luck, Baldwin. And now for your Upper St. Clair Panthers. Number 18, Pat Todd. Number 11, Clay Yuga. Number 17, Austin Everett. Number 15, Zach Weber. Number 6, Scott Smolovich. Number 16, Scott Perry. And now for our seniors, number 5, Mike Popak. Number 12, Tom Petrini. Number 8, Zach Cavo. Number 24, TJ Highland. Number 22, Jason False. And number 3, Dave Andretti. Upper St. Clair coaches are Mr. Mark Killinger, Mr. Neil Brown, head coach Jack Zebo, and manager extraordinaire Matt Howard.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Upper St. Clair High School, home of the Panthers. It is opening night for Boys Volleyball 2007. My name is Kevin McGahey. My videographer tonight is Brandon Sullivan, and we're here to bring you the opening salvo of AAA Section 1 play between the homestanding Panthers of Upper St. Clair and the visiting rival Highlanders of Baldwin. It's opening night here. We'll get the starting lineup set for you. Baldwin comes in here with a huge team. Personnel-wise, at least, they have a lot of players on this team, and it's very heavily senior-laden. The Panthers come in playing mostly seniors. We'll get the lineup set for you here. Number 12 is the senior Tom Petrini. Number 24, T.J. Highland, one of the biggest hitters we've gotten have had in a long time. Number 3 is Dave Andreghi. I think you'll see him play a libero if they do play that, and chief setter. Number 22 is the senior Jason False. Number 10 is a starting freshman for the Panthers. His name is Troy Murphy. And I've left somebody out. Who have I missed? Number 8, sorry about that, Zach Cavo, also a senior. So the Panthers start 5 seniors and a freshman. The Highlanders of Baldwin. Number 23 is Mike DeLizer. He's a freshman. Number 18, senior Mike Duffy. Number 9 is a sophomore, Neil Duran. Number 10 is Bob Ryan, also a senior for the Baldwin Highlanders. Number 19, Brett Stanford, junior, and I've missed somebody along the line. Number 22, Greg Hilliard, a sophomore, so it's a mix of classes for the Baldwin Highlanders and the heavily senior-laden Upper St. Clair team. Again, we have no record on either one of these two teams. They both played tournaments over the weekend. I'm not too sure how they came out, but this we'll see how quickly they can get rid of the first game opening of the season jitters, and it looks like Baldwin will be set up to serve first. Number in the form of number 23, the freshman Mike DeLizer. Sure enough, off he goes with the first pitch, and we're underway for the 2007 Whippeal season, and the pass goes over on the left side, to TJ Highland, wallops it into the net, not quite high enough, and Baldwin Highlanders draw first blood. And the first substitution also, they've substituted the libero. Number 17 is on the floor now. His name is Nick Mongiat. And the libero, the Panthers did the same thing. And the libero, if you're not familiar with this style of play, they can substitute freely for anybody, anytime. It's mostly back row play. Number 18, Mike Duffy, the senior, up high on the left side for the Baldwin attack. And it's a 2-0 Baldwin lead. Dug out of the nice classic set to the right side into the St. Clair block, but dug right out of there. Nicely down on the floor. 18, that is Pat Ty with that first kill for the Upper St. Clair Panthers. A 2-1 Panther lead. Jason Falls with a serve, dug out nicely by the Highlanders. Just shoved back over to the libero, number 15, that's Zach Weber. Into the Highlanders, block, and inbounds or out of bounds, lands inbounds. Off the Highlander block, that's point for Baldwin. Side out to them, that's a 2-2 lead early here in game number 1. These games go to 25 points. It's a best-of-5 series. First one to win 3 games wins the match. Again into the Baldwin block, that's a block to number 18, Mike Duffy, the senior. Game goes to 25, you have to win it by 2, and the first one to win 3 games wins the match. Easy serve and a little bit long, about 2 feet too long that time. Neil Duran, the sophomore, with that serve, and the point side out goes right back to the Panthers, and they're trading some early game jitters here. 3-3, all knotted up. Game number 1. TJ Highland with the serve. Left side into the net, or it's out of bounds anyway. I think it was in the net, not sure if it was off the block or not. I was screened by the official from where I'm sitting. It's out of bounds. Must have been off the block indeed, because it's still Baldwin ball. 4-3 Highlanders. Dave Andreggi from the left side, handled nicely by the Highlanders. Brett Stanford, the junior for the Highlanders, up high and off the St. Clair block. 2-point cushion for the Highlanders right now, 5-3. We're still real early. Game number 1 of this best-of-5 match. That serve could have gone long, but it was kept in by TJ Highland, and then nicely dug by the Highlanders. Thought they found the empty spot just then, not quite so. Dave Andreggi into the Baldwin block. And fourth, nope, not going to go over on the third one. Hit over with power by the Panthers, not easily handled by the Highlanders. Side out, and the serve comes right back to the Panthers. Free substitutions now. Number 10 on the floor, back does Troy Murphy back on the floor for the Panthers. This is number 17. First time we've seen him, sophomore Austin Everett. And Troy Murphy, the freshman, starts with these, takes up the serving chores. Handled by the Highlanders. Classic bump set off the block. Dave Andreggi up high for that block. Smallest Panther on the floor. Brett Stanford, the junior, tried to ooze that one over with one fist. Didn't quite work, and the match is not at all up at 5. Troy Murphy continuing with the serve. Nice and easy, handled by the libero, Zach Mongiat. Off the Baldwin tip, should be out of bounds, point to the Panthers. Sure enough, Austin Everett with the kill that time. From the left side, his first of the night, and Troy Murphy continuing with the serve, 6-5 Panther lead. Easy over, dug out by the Highlanders. Tom Petrini with that successful block for a point. And the Panthers have their first 2-point cushion of the night at 7-5. Mike DeLizer tried to get that one over for the Baldwin Highlanders. Got it right into the St. Clair block. Right side, not much on that one for the Highlanders. Troy Murphy with the set, back set, and double hit apparently. He had the back set going to Dave Andreggi, with a double hit called on freshman Troy Murphy. Side out and point to the Highlanders. Bob Ryan, the senior, with the serve. Murphy with a set, and in or out. Lands out. Thought Tom Petrini had a real good look at that one. Must have landed just out, and the match is all knotted up at 7. Bob Ryan once again with the serve for Baldwin. Troy Murphy with that set way up high. That, no good that time. Lift called, yep. Austin Everett had a really good attack going out of there right into the Baldwin block and sort of handcuffed him on the way down there, called a lift. That means point for Baldwin, and they continue with the serve and an 8-7 Highlander lead. Nifty quick set that time by Troy Murphy, but Tom Petrini handled it right into the net. Another Baldwin point. They've got their two-point cushion back at 9-7. Still in game number 1 of this best-of-5 match. Troy Murphy with that set net, that deal, the short set to Tom Petrini, that is. So excuse me, Tom Petrini's number 12 with his first successful kill of the night. He's got one. Austin Everett's got one. Pat Ty's got one. Off the Troy Murphy had a pretty good look at it, but it bent his fingers back, and that ball sailed out of bounds off the Troy Murphy tip, and we're back to that 2-point cushion for Baldwin. Number 19, this is Brent Stanford, the junior, handling the serving shores for the Highlanders. Handled nicely by the Panthers. Troy Murphy in or out again. Just wide. Austin Everett again had a good look at that one. Sailed just wide, and that sends the ball right back to the Baldwin Highlanders, and a 3-point, their biggest lead of the night. 3-point cushion for Baldwin. Off the net, you can play those, not like the old style we used to play when I was growing up. Net serve is playable. Troy Murphy again. To Tom Petrini, oozed it right over the net, and that one worked out just fine. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And Tom Petrini oozed that one just over the net. Baldwin could not return it. Point for the Panthers, down 11-9. Tom Petrini with the serve. Number 9, Neil Duran, had a good look at it, but sailed that one about 4 feet long. Apparently off a Panther fingertip. They've called the tip. It did sail out of bounds, but off a Panther player first. Serve comes back to the Panthers, and freshman number 23, Mike DeLizer, with the serve. Top spin, Diane Quayle of a serve. Very nice serve. Wide again. Austin Everett had another good look at it from way up high, but sailed that one wide. Panthers are getting good sets, good looks. Some of these, what otherwise would be good kills, are just sailing wide. Troy Murphy again, left side, into the Baldwin block. There's T.J. Highland, and that T.J. Highland oozes it over that time into the Baldwin block and out of bounds. Point to the Panthers. More substitutions again. Number 18, Pat Ty, is back on the floor for the Panthers, as is number 8, Zach Cavo. The senior goes right to the serving chores. Panthers down 3. 13-10, game number 1 of this best-of-5 match. Served by Zach Cavo, over successfully. Handled by the Highlanders. Interesting set then off the Pat Ty block for a point. His first of the night. (13-11) Baldwin. Zach Cavo with that serve again. Handled by the libero, Nick Mongiat. Just hoisted over by Neil Duran. Well done by Pat Ty, his second successful kill of the night. Handcuffed number 19 for the Baldwin Highlanders, Brent Stanford, and it's still Zach Cavo's serve. Down 1, 12-13. From the back row, way up high, that's senior Mike Duffy for the Highlanders. There was absolutely nobody in the front row that time. I don't know where that set was headed, but from behind the 10-foot line, Mike Duffy pounded that on the St. Clair side. I hope he didn't damage the polyurethane in the process. Greg Hilliard, the sophomore, with the serve, right off the tip. Handled not by the Highlanders, out of bounds. Point to the Panthers, and it's a 1-point deficit again. They're hanging in. It's a very close match so far. Nobody's had bigger than a 3-point lead. Jason False with the serve. Pretty good placement by Neil Duran, but handled by the Panthers. Off the Baldwin block, handled again very nicely. Double hit that time. Called on Neil Duran, and that's a point for the Panthers. The game is all knotted up at 14. Still early, no real clear favorite yet. They seem to be trading points, keeping it close. Mike Duffy with a great look. Point to Baldwin. Into the St. Clair block. Successful point by Mike Duffy. 1 point Baldwin lead. There's the set right back to the right side. Whistled out of bounds. TJ Highland had a great look at that slicing attack attempt, but it sailed long. Point Baldwin. From the back row, not much on it that time. Change direction, 19. That was Brent Stanford, the junior, with a successful kill off the St. Clair block. The ball changed direction and found its way right into the middle of the floor, that called the donut or the donut hole. Back to a 3-point lead for the Baldwin Highlanders. Zach Cavo. Very nicely done. The Zach Cavo set the TJ Highland kill, his first of the night, and it's back. Panthers back within 2. TJ Highland takes up the serve. Low driving serve handled by the Highlanders. Nice slicing attack that time by Brent Stanford, the Baldwin junior. Maintains that 3-point lead for the Highlanders. The first jump serve we've seen off the hand of Mike Duffy and sailed out of bounds, but those jump serves, I imagine you'll see more of those as the season progresses. When you can get up high, that jump serve tends to put a real tough topspin on the ball, and it dives as it gets over, then it's very tough to handle. Freshman Troy Murphy handling the serving chores for the Panthers. Just oozed over the net. Handled nicely by the Panthers. Right back to the left side. And Austin Everett, with his second successful kill of the night, rolls off a Baldwin arm out of bounds, and the Panthers are back within 1. 18-17 Highlander lead. Troy Murphy continues with the serve. Good set to the left side, and Brent Stanford had a pretty good look at that one, but sailed that one way out of bounds. That one wasn't coming back, and it's a tied up, all knotted up at 18 now. Here we're still in game number 1. Troy Murphy with the serve. At the net, the set into the ball, into Mike DeLizer into the St. Clair block. Point Baldwin, and they keep that lead. It's been a long time since the Panthers saw a lead here. They had a 2-point lead back at 7-5, I think it was, and haven't seen a lead since, but they're hanging tough. Sails way long, 8-9 feet long. Had a little bit too much on that. Maybe he should stay out of the weight room. That's Bob Ryan. The dugout, dug out nicely by the Highlanders. Tom Petrini had a good look at it, but he timed his jump a little too early, or he'd have had that, but he'd have done some damage with that one. 2019, 1-point Baldwin lead, and they come into dangerous territory now. The Panthers could they need to string a couple of points together here. Back set to Tom Petrini, handled by the Highlanders. Neil Duran with that one for Baldwin. Austin Everett with one more successful kill. Rattles off a wrist and out of bounds, and it's knotted up at 20. Remember, you have to win these games by 2. It's a best-of-5 match. First one to 25, but you have to win by 2. Tom Petrini with the serve. Senior gets it over, comes back into the net. Bit of an overpass, yes, indeed. Right into the attack, and a successful kill from TJ Highland on the second ball. That's not what Baldwin intended, but that's what they came up with, and Baldwin takes a quick timeout as game number 1 approaches dangerous territory here to gather up the troops and make sure that didn't damage anybody's egos. So far, 3 kills for Austin Everett, 2 for Pat Tye, number 18, the sophomore, 2 for senior TJ Highland. No aces served yet, and you kind of don't see that at this high level of play. Sometimes at lower levels, and there have been 2 nice blocks for points. Tom Petrini has 1, and Pat Tye has 1. Tom Petrini continues with the serve. We'll see what Baldwin comes out with. I'm not, don't see any substitutions yet. My guess is they'll stay with the same players they had on just a minute ago. Jack Zebo, the coach of the Panthers, giving them a bit of a pep talk and a lecture here. It'd be nice to see the Panthers run this one right out and come away with game number 1. Yep, same lineup for the Highlanders. No substitutions. Tom Petrini, excuse me, with the serve. Set to the left side, into the net. Nice for the Panthers. Neil Duran had a pretty good set that time, but he walloped it right into that net, about 2 feet short of going over. And Tom Petrini continues with the serve. Panthers with a 2-point lead in a very good spot at 22-20. Oh, that was a bit of an overpass. Not much on it. They had to get that one from the back line. Just shoved it over to make sure the ball stayed in play. Same for the Panthers. Didn't get a chance to use that 3-ball just then. Mike DeLizer into the St. Clair block. And over. Troy Murphy saves it. Didn't go under the net. Well done, Troy. See what the Panthers have got here. Troy Murphy to the left side. And T.J. Highland. The bad news is that one sailed out of bounds. TJ had a great look at that ball. Sailed out of bounds, and the serve goes back, the point and serve go back to the Highlanders. Freshman Mike DeLizer with that serve, and that top spin gets it, pounded it right into the tape and into the net. Works out for the Panthers, a 2-point lead at 23-21 with 2 points to go. Number 18, Pat Ty, back on the floor, as is number 8, Zach Cavo, who heads right over to the serving shores. Zach had a good run at 2 or 3 points a little earlier on. Let's see what he's got in his bag of tricks right now to finish off this game. Handcuffed, number 18, Mike Duffy, and now it is triple game point for the Panthers, and I'm guessing that's an ace. That ball didn't come back on the serve. First ace of the match, and Zach Cavo had the right serve at the right time. And let's see whether the Panthers can finish it right here and now. The pass right into the net, back on the 2-ball. Oh, it was put right up there by Zach Cavo, and everybody stood around and looked at it. And one of those game points is gone. The serve heads back over to the Highlanders, and Greg Hilliard, Greg Hilliard, the sophomore, with the Highlanders serve, but it still only takes one for the Panthers. Zach Cavo. Libero Zach Weber over to the Baldwin side now, and there's the set to the right side and just edged it over the net. Panthers smelled that one out. Tom Petrini. Oh, sorry, Pat Ty. Up, and the ball went down, and the Panthers have come away with game number 1, 25-22. We'll take a quick break and be right back for game number 2. Stay with us. We are just about set for game number 2 of this best-of-5 match between the homestanding Panthers of Upper St. Clair and the visiting Baldwin Highlanders. I'm Kevin McGahey. Brandon Sullivan is doing the camera work tonight. We hope you're enjoying this match so far. It's an opening night whoopee old AAA Section 1 match, and so far the Upper St. Clair Panthers have one game in hand at 25-22. And let's see what the Baldwin Highlanders have in store for game number 2. Looks like that's a similar lineup. Same numbers we saw in game number 1. And the Upper St. Clair Panthers, sure enough, Tom Petrini, Dave Andreghi, number 3, Troy Murphy, number 10. Well, we'll get underway. Tom Petrini stays with that serve and got a little overzealous that time and sailed it about 4 feet long, and Baldwin gets first point again, as they did in game number 1. Greg Hilliard, the sophomore, with the serve for the Baldwin Highlanders. Into the Troy Murphy set. Bam! Down by T.J. Highland. 4 kills on the night for T.J. First Upper St. Clair point of game number 2. 2 substitutions. We'll see this going happening a lot here. Number 18, Pat Ty, comes in. The freshman Troy Murphy goes out. 17, Austin Everett goes out. Number 8, Zach Cavo, comes in to handle some serving chores. Oh, and came up a little bit short. Served that smack right into the net. A gift for the Baldwin Highlanders, and just a 2-1 lead here in game number 2. Another wide serve. The Neil Duran, the sophomore, sailed that one wide. Point and side out for the Panthers. Jason False, the senior, doing the left-handed doing the serving. Sometimes those can have a funny turn to them, and on the 2-ball, that's not what the Highlanders wanted. That sailed off into the referee's stand. Point for the Panthers and a 3-2 lead. Game number 2 of this best-of-5 match. Goes just over the net. I'm sure that fooled the Highlanders into thinking that was going to land in the net. It sure didn't. And out of bounds, successful kill. That's Pat Ty again. 3 on the night for Pat. And Jason False, the left-hander, continues with the serve. From the back row into the net. Not off a block. That's 4 hits, and that's another point for the Panthers and a 2-point lead. That's a 3-point run. Now, 3-point lead. It's a 4-point run for the Panthers now at 5-2. Jason False again with that serve. Should be a double hit. Yeah, off arms and off face. That's 2 hits. Hope he didn't hurt his jaw with that thing. Jason fooled him on that one. He's got this knuckle serve that's just diving over the net. You can read the print on the ball as it goes over. And there's a nice attack. Number 18, Mike Duffy, the senior. He hit it where they ain't. That's kind of the key here, is hit them where they're not standing. And Mike Duffy has the serve. Zach Weber picks that one up. Dave Andreghi off the Baldwin block. Is kept in play nicely by the Highlanders and over. Pat Ty with that attack attempt. Baldwin handled it and it sails back over on the 1 ball winner. Nicely dug out of there. And way up high for TJ Highland for a good dig and the successful kill. 5 of the night for TJ. That's a 7-3 4-point Panther lead. That's the largest lead of the night for either team. We're still in game number 2. It's a best-of-5 match. Panthers won game number 1. TJ Highland with that serve. That just sort of lofted over. Bob Ryan did that. And the quick set did not fool the Highlanders. An awkward set that time. They hit nothing. Weren't able to get anything on it. Slicing attack by Tom Petrini was originally handled by the Highlanders, but ends up falling on their side of the floor, and the Panthers now have a 5-point lead at 8-3. Once again, the biggest lead of the night for either team. TJ Highland with that serve. Mike DeLizer off the block. Anybody touch it? Indeed, no one touched it. Off the net, out of bounds. Point to the Panthers. TJ Highland with the lead, or with the serve, and a 6-point Panther lead. Tough angle on that attack. Not much on it, but there is Tom Petrini. Nearly damaged number 22 for the Highlanders. Petrini's now from the back row. TJ Highland lofts it over. Into the net, and somebody was in the net. Let's see who it was. I'm sorry, couldn't see. One of the Baldwin players was in the net. That results in a point for the Panthers. And TJ Highland continues with the serve and with an enormous 7-point lead for the Panthers. From the back row, practically off the tip. Dave Andreghi had a good look at it. Sort of oozed off his wrist and onto our side of the floor. Side out and point for Baldwin. Now Jack Zebo up off the bench, keeping the troops in line, making sure they don't let any more get away. So the Panthers get this side out and get that serve right back. 10-4, 6-point Panther lead. Bob Ryan with the serve. Tom Petrini, but taken out of there by Brett Stanford. That cable with the set into the block. Yep, into the Baldwin block. Falls to the Panthers side. Point Highlanders. 2 in a row for them now. It's a 10-5 Panther lead. Bob Ryan, the senior, continues with the serve. Dug out of there nicely by Jason False. And oh, dribbles right over the net. Perfectly, just like the coach drew it up. Use the net, your 7th man. Here's that substitution again. Austin Everett, number 17, back on the floor, as is freshman Troy Murphy, who goes straight to the serving chores. 6-point Panther lead, 11-5 in game number 2. From the right side into the St. Clair block. Brett Stanford had a pretty good look at it. Troy Murphy with a set, and Tom Petrini up high, and a beautiful kill off that gorgeous set by Troy Murphy. Tom Petrini with his second kill of the night. But give the assist to Troy Murphy for laying it right up there where Tom could get to it. And Troy with the serve and a 7-point Panther lead, 12-5. Right into the net and not good. Hits the referee stand, looks like out of bounds. Not handled well. That counts as an ace. I'll take that one anytime. When you serve and it doesn't come back, that's an ace. First one of the night for Troy Murphy. Second for the team. And now the largest lead of the night at 13-5 Panthers. Troy Murphy with the serve. Mike DeLizer with the attempt, dug out of there by Dave Andreghi from the back row, though TJ Highland had a look at it. Could not come up with it, and that was a brilliant dig by Dave Andreghi to keep that ball in play off the Mike DeLizer spike. Brett Stanford for the Highlanders into the net. Gift for the Panthers. We'll take it. Back to that 8-point lead at 14-6. And Dave Andreghi with the serve. I think it's the first time we've seen Dave doing the serving tonight. Lofts it over. Yep, there should be a carry. A lift called by the Highlanders. That initial bump came in way low. Too low for Greg Hilliard to get a good look at. Sure enough, the point, another point for the Panthers, and a 9-point lead now in game number 2. Just tapped over the net and put right back down by Tom Petrini. Troy Murphy with a back set. Jason False with a left-handed attempt, but he walloped it into the net. Point to the Highlanders. 8-point lead at 15-7. Mike DeLizer, the freshman, with the serve. Dropped right over the net. Double hit called on the set that time. Troy Murphy. Well, Jack Zebo's trying to make a case of it, but it's probably a pretty good call. Tough for me to tell from 17 rows back here, but it had to be somebody closer than me. Had a good look at that. Mike DeLizer again with a dying top serve. Troy Murphy with the set. Tom Petrini with the attack and out of bounds. Close, but not in the field of play. Point to the Highlanders. They're back within 6 after the Panthers had extended a 9-point lead. 15-9 Panthers. Mike DeLizer continues with that serve. Troy Murphy. Well done that time. That's a successful attack by Austin Everett. 4 of the night for Austin. You got to get that ball to the floor where they can't get to. That's just what Austin Everett did. Tom Petrini with the serve. A floater right back in the net, and Austin Everett didn't get the whole thing. Troy Murphy. Jason False, the left-hander, just edges it over the net. Didn't work that time. Off the Panther tip, somebody was in the net. Panther was in the net. That sends the ball and the point back to the Highlanders. Tom Petrini goes out. And libero Zach Weber comes on the floor. Greg Hilliard with that serve. TJ Highland off the Baldwin tip and out of bounds. And TJ with 6 kills on the night. Panthers keep those points coming at 17-10. They keep that 7-point cushion they built here earlier in the match. Zach Cavo back on the floor, goes right to the serving chores. Lofts it over and in. Out. I thought that was in. It was right in the back corner, but it was called out by the linesman. Gift for the Highlanders. They're still back within 6. Neil Duran, the sophomore, serving for Baldwin. Not that time. Jason False kind of handcuffed him. He got low, got a good look at the ball, but it went into basically nobody, where nobody was standing. Ace for the Highlanders, their first of the night. Short set to Pat Ty, but right into the Baldwin block. Back on the Panthers side. Point for Baldwin. They're back within 4 after the Panthers built the 9-point lead. And this will be a pretty timely timeout for Jack Zebo to make sure that the Panthers with a killer instinct put this thing away and not let the Highlanders back in the game. It's a 4-point lead, but it has been as high as 9. TJ Highland leading all killers tonight with 6. Austin Everett with 4. Pat Ty with 3. Tom Petrini in there with 2. That's the big frontline hitters. 2 aces served tonight. One by Zach Cavo, the senior. One by freshman Troy Murphy. But right now, Neil Duran has a pretty nice run going for the Baldwin Highlanders. Let's see if the Panthers can get this side out, get control of the ball back. Zach Cavo, the TJ Highland, that one lands in, no doubt about that. 7 great kills on the night for TJ Highland. The lead is back to 5 for Upper St. Clair. Jason Falls with that left-handed serve. Let's see if he can't fool him the one time here. A knuckleball. There it is. That ace we've seen already. That the left. He serves with that left hand, and it drifts over the net like he's trying to hit a Phil Necro knuckleball. You should see those balls dance, and that one's in right in the back corner. Well placed. 2 aces back to back by Jason Falls. And you had to know the Baldwin Highlanders thought that one was going to sail wide, but that knuckleball landed right in the back row. And the overpass that time coming from the back row, the libero, Nick Mongiad, was right into the net. Very tough for the Baldwin Highlanders to handle. Point for the Panthers. That lead is back to 8 in very good territory here. 4 points to victory now in game number 2 for the Panthers. From the back row, way long. Brett Stanford's got to get out of the weight room. He didn't get enough of that one. You got to get over the top to make those things with a top spin to make those balls die and fall on the floor on the other side. Didn't work that time, and Jason False continues with the serve. Handcuffs that libero again, second time here. Dug out nicely by Jason False. Tap back over. Not quite enough, though. The ball got back over the net, but didn't stay in bounds. Headed toward the scorer's table, out of bounds. Side out, and point to the Highlanders. Mike Duffy with the serve. Dave Andreggi getting up high for that one. One of the smallest men on the floor. He can jump. TJ Highland pulls that one out. Zach Cavo back to Dave Andreggi. Thought he was going to get it right over the net. Didn't quite work, and Baldwin grabs one more point. The lead is still 7, fairly comfortable for the Panthers, but now's the time to close this thing out. Get control of that serve back with a side out. There's a knuckle serve, and that handcuffed Zach Weber, but the Panthers handle it nicely, getting it right back in play. Mike DeLizer off the ball, off the St. Clair block and out of bounds. Mike DeLizer, the freshman, getting up high with power, and the Baldwin Highlanders is back within 6. I'm sure this is not what Jack Zebo wanted when he saw that lead build up to 9 just a minute ago. Dave Andreggi. Back to Dave Andreggi, lofted over the net. And it works. You don't always have to hit them high. You have to hit them where they're either tough to handle or nobody's standing. And it's a 7-point lead for the Panthers, now 23-16. In good shape for game number 2 here. TJ Highland with that serve. Mike DeLizer again, but handled nicely by Jason False. Dave Andreggi again, but into the Baldwin block, and everybody was crowded up on the front line for the Panthers. Nobody standing, nobody covering the back to pick that one up off the floor. Back within 6. 23-17 Panthers. Back set. Not much on it though for Pat Ty. Nicely done that time by Brent Stanford. And a big slicing attack. Making it interesting here. The Baldwin Highlanders, Bob Ryan, the senior now with the serve. Into the net, a gift for the Panthers, and now it's what? Septuple game point. It's a 24-18 lead, and the Panthers need just one to close out game number 2 of this best-of-5 match. Troy Murphy, the freshman, will be doing the serving. Let's see if he can drop it down right now and finish this thing off. Handled by the Highlanders, Mike DeLizer. TJ Highland keeps that one alive. Tom Petrini off the block. Rescued by Nick off the block, and TJ Highland again keeping the ball in play. Troy Murphy from the back line. Jason False lobs the ball over, keeping it in play. Mike DeLizer once again. Troy Murphy got underneath it in the proper position, hands in front of the face, but it goes right off his hands and out of bounds. Side out and serve back to Baldwin with the junior Brett Stanford doing the serving. Dave Andreggi passed it to basically nobody. That's a tough break because Dave did a good job digging that out, but there were 3 Panthers standing around looking to see which one was going to get it. Now the Baldwin Highlanders close within 4, with the Panthers needing just one to come away with game number 2 off the net. That's good. You play it. Troy Murphy, Tom Petrini set it back away. Yeah, set it back away from the net. A lift was called anyway. But Tom Petrini needed one he could run into and went behind him. 24-21. Sails wide, and the gift gives game number 2 to the Panthers at 25-21. The teams will change sides. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back for game number 3. Stay with us. We are back. It was only a couple of seconds for you. It was 3 minutes for us, and we are back at Upper St. Clair High School on Tuesday, the 27th of March, for this opening night men's volleyball match between the visiting Baldwin Highlanders and the homestanding Panthers of Upper St. Clair. We're going into game number 3 now. This is game number 3 of a best-of-5 match. As you've seen before, these 2 games have been close most of the way, and have resulted in game number 1 for the Panthers at 25-22. Game number 2 goes to the Panthers at 25-21. We are set for game number 3. The lineup seemed to be set. I don't see any new players in there for the Highlanders. It's familiar numbers, familiar faces. They get the first serve. Troy Murphy over to TJ Highland. Breaks the ice in game number 3. 1-0 Panthers. 8 kills on the night so far for TJ Highland. And as the substitution, same substitution we've seen many times already tonight. Number 8, Zach Cavo, the senior, comes in to serve. And that number 18, Pat Ty, the sophomore, is on the floor. That substitution will happen a lot into the block. Well done, Pat Ty, with that block for a point, his second of the night. 2-0 in game number 3 for the Panthers. Zach Cavo continues with the serve. Once again, the Highlanders had a great look at it. Pat Ty with that block, 2 back-to-back. And the Panthers are off to a terrific start here in game number 3. It's 3-0. Zach Cavo again with the serve. The overpass goes right over to the Panthers, dumps it right back on the floor, rescued miraculously by the Highlanders. And where did that come from? Mike Duffy, the senior. After I thought that ball would die twice on the Baldwin side, they come up with a very nice point. Greg Hilliard, the sophomore, with the serve for Baldwin. Zach Cavo with a quick second. Kind of fooled Pat Ty, but Pat had the presence of mind to double clutch on that and wallop it on the Baldwin side. 4 kills on the night for Pat. The left-handed server, Jason False. Passed right into the net. Those are tough to dig out of there. Greg Hilliard was not able to do it, and that's Jason False, 3rd ace of the night. When that serve goes over, doesn't come back, it doesn't have to be pretty, but if it goes over and doesn't come back, that is an ace. Left side, wow, handled very nicely by Zach Weber, and the Panthers keep it in play. Off the block, Zach Weber again. The overpass, that worked out nicely for the Panthers. I thought that was headed into the net, but they kept the ball in play. Zach Weber again. Zach Cavo with the set, lands in. Pat Ty once again from the left side. 5 kills for Pat Ty, and it's a 6-1 Panther lead, off to a very fine start here in game number 3 of the best-of-5 match. Jason False again with that knuckleball serve. From the back row into the block. Handled by the Panthers. Zach Cavo with Dave Andreghi into the Baldwin block. Killed by Dave Andreghi. Great to see the smaller guys get up and off the floor to make kills like that. Very satisfying kill for Dave Andreghi. Jason False again put some spin on the serve this time. From the left side into the St. Clair block. TJ Highland with that great block for a point. The Panthers have got a real run going here. It's now 8-1, game number 3. Jason Falls continuing with the serve. Knuckleball dives right over the net, hoisted back over by Baldwin. Right side, TJ Highland. Falls on the Baldwin side, TJ Highland. 9 kills on the night for TJ. Jason Falls again with that serve. Knuckle serve handled by the Highlanders. Right side. And the Highlanders break through. Brett Stanford, the junior. Side out point over to the Highlanders, and we'll see Brett Stanford, the junior, doing the serving. He's the guy that just had that magnificent kill to get control of the ball back. Zach Weber overpasses into the net, comes right back, and Mike Duffy for the Highlanders in that kill. That one all got started with that overpass. You don't want that first pass, that first bump, to get too close to the net. You want to get it to your setter to properly line it up for one of the two side hitters. Baldwin ball. Dave Andreghi digs it out. Zach Cavo back to Dave Andreghi, right side, and finds an empty spot right behind the front line. 2 kills on the night for David Andreghi. 7-point Panther lead at 10-3. TJ Highland with the serve. Nothing fancy on the serve, but it fooled Nick Mongiat, the libero, rattled off his hands back over the back line. Ace for TJ Highland. 6 aces on the night for the Panthers. You don't see that very often. 1, I believe, for the Highlanders. That knuckleball serve fooled everybody. I wouldn't want to have to return that. I could see that moving from here. Poor Nick Mongiat, the victim again, trying to handle a diving knuckle serve. And it's a 9-point Panther lead at 12-3. TJ Highland with that serve again. A tip and a third ace, 3 in a row for TJ Highland, and a 10-point lead for the Panthers, largest of the night for either team in any game. See what else TJ's got in store. Can he make it 4 aces in a row? Tipped off the net. It's playable. Left side. Handled by Jason False. Dumps it right back over the net. Highlanders have it. Handled again by Jason False. Zach Cavo back to Tom Petrini. Right into the Baldwin block and out of bounds. Or the inbounds rather. Point to Baldwin. They got that side out and the serve back. Still a 9-point Panther lead at 13-4. And Mike Duffy, the senior, will do the serving for the Highlanders. Zach Cavo, Tom Petrini, and is there a call? In the net call, actually, by the Highlanders. It's a miracle Baldwin kept that one in play after it hit the ceiling speaker. Back to a 10-point lead for the Panthers at 14-4. Freshman Troy Murphy with the serve for Upper St. Clair. Now tips up, but doesn't roll over that time. Rolls right back. Results in a gift for the Highlanders. 14-5, Panther lead. In command here in game number 3. Bob Ryan, the senior, with the serve. Troy Murphy with the set to Tom Petrini. That found the floor in a big hurry. Tom Petrini with his 3rd kill of the night. Back to a 10-point margin for the Panthers at 15-5. Side out and serve goes over to Dave Andreghi, the senior. Played libero last year. They've got him playing the right side or left side this time. Serve goes over and just dribbles over the net. And ace. Well, wasn't the prettiest ace I've ever seen, but it counts. It's a point, and it's an 11-point Panther lead at 16-5. And it's not like the Baldwin Highlanders do anything much wrong here. It's just the Panthers have come alive with great hitting, timely serving. And that time, Mike DeLizer sends it off the wrist of Austin Everett out of bounds. Side out end, point for Baldwin. Justin Joyce with the serve. First time I think I've said his name at the serving spot tonight. Austin Everett right into the blocks. Brought back out of there by the Panthers. Back set to Tom Petrini into the net. 4 hit that didn't go into the block, went into the net. Tom Petrini had a good look at it, but point for Baldwin. Troy Murphy back set Tom Petrini, same play, different result. And Tom Petrini with his 4th kill of the night. Oh, it lands out of bounds. Really? Well, I thought that one was clearly in, but Again, what do I know? I'm sitting 17 rows up in the stands. Justin Joyce with the serve and a rotation error. Somebody out of position on the Panther side. I'm sorry I wasn't watching that too closely, but that's a violation. And a point for Baldwin. They're creeping back within 7 here. The Panthers had a commanding 10-point lead a minute ago. Dave Andreghi to Troy Murphy. Tom Petrini off a block and on the floor. That one landed in, no doubt about that. Tom Petrini with that kill. 17-9. Panthers back to an 8-point lead. And Tom Petrini takes up the serve. Oh, too low, way low. That one almost went under the net. A gift for Baldwin. Tom Petrini goes out, and our libero, Zach Weber, comes in. Remember that libero can substitute anytime, anywhere. No formal substitution required, but they usually are put in there as back row specialists, not hitters. Back row specialists, and there's a serve, the second ace of the night for Baldwin. Jason Falls had a good look at it, but it must have fooled him. He tried to hit it with one wrist, and that isn't all that successful in this line of work. Mike DeLizer continues with the serve. Baldwin down 6, 17-11, game number 3. Tough serve, tough top spin. Baldwin blocking out of bounds. Point to the Panthers. Okay, it did go into the block, not the net. Panthers get the side out, control of the ball back, and Zach Cavo on the floor once again to handle the serving chores. One ace of the night for Zach. Oh, that one would have sailed long. That's an ace right there. Justin must have fooled Justin Joyce. He had a good look at it, but that is Zach Cavo's second ace of the night, and that totals up to 10 aces on the night in 3 games for the Panthers. Not bad serving. Last 6 set. Oh, Zach Weber had a pretty good eye on it, but number 18, that's Mike Duffy, the senior, way too hard. Impossible for the Panthers to handle, and the new face on the floor for the Panthers, number 6 is junior Scott Smolovich. First time we've seen him on the floor tonight. Zach Cavo goes off, and Greg Hilliard, the sophomore, with the serve for Baldwin, trailing by 7, 19-12 Panthers. Jason Falls keeping the ball in play. Left side, same thing for Baldwin, just keeping the ball in play. Didn't have much of a look at it. But there's TJ Highland landing that one in bounds. TJ, 10 kills on the night to lead all Panthers. Second place would be Pat Ty with 5, Austin Ever with 4, Tom Petrini with 4. Jason Falls had a great run of serves earlier in this game. Let's see what he can come up with right now. Right side, attack attempt by Brent Stanford, sails way long, 8-10 feet long. He had way too much on that. And the Panthers in pretty good shape right now to close out this match. It's 21-12, a 9-point lead in game number 3. Panthers win this one. Everybody goes home early. Hoisted back over. Lands out, sure enough. Pat Ty had a really good look at that one. Sailed a little bit wide. Baldwin still alive, trailing by 8, 21-13. Game number 3. Panthers need control of this ball back. That ball must have taken a long trek underneath the stands. Usually they come back pretty quickly, not that time. Baldwin with the serve. Top spin, handled. Dave Andreghi again with that successful kill 3 on the night for him. Panthers do indeed get control of the serve back. Side out point to the Panthers and a 9-point lead at 22-13. 3 points, and this match is over. TJ Highland with that serve. Not brought back. TJ Highland with another ace, 4 for him. Again, it's not the prettiest of aces as you like to have it, so it's wallops on the floor, but if that serve doesn't come back, it's an ace in my book, and the Panthers have a whole bunch of game points coming up here. It's a 10-point lead. Jump serve by TJ Highland, handled by the Baldwin Highlanders. Touched by a Highlander, out of bounds off the St. Clair block. Side out point to Baldwin, trailing by 9, 23-14. Easy knuckle serve handled by Dave Andreghi. Tom Petrini. And somebody in the net somehow. It's a double violation. The point counts for the Panthers anyway, and they now have 10 match points to deal with. 5 kills for Tom Petrini, and the freshman Troy Murphy may just have the chance to serve it out right now. 24-14. The Baldwin Highlanders have a long way to go to get back in this one. Let's see if Troy Murphy can. Oh, tips off the net. Just disturbs the flow of the ball. Justin Joyce gets that ball over. Troy Murphy, left side to Van Draghi. Oh, the Baldwin tip off the hands of Nick Mungiat, and the Panthers open the 2007 season with a 3-0 whitewash of the Baldwin Highlanders, winning the 3 games 25-22, 25-21, and 25-14. The home crowd goes home happy. Well, my name is Kevin McGahey. My videographer has been Brandon Sullivan. We're glad you were with us tonight for opening night. We hope you stay with us and watch us again here on Cable 7 as the season progresses. Thanks, everybody, and good night.